Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk and More, episode 66. Why am I calling it Yarn Talk and More now is because my crafting has started to divert from strictly yarn things. So there will still be yarn stuff, but that will be at the beginning, and then I'm going to have all my other craft stuff at the end. And in this particular episode, I'm also going to have a fairly large acquisition section, and it's going to seem ridiculous, but it's stuff that I've accumulated over the last several weeks. A lot of it was stuff that I actually went out and bought while I was at the Dark in the Park market. Once we shut down for the evening, I drove to the nearby Walmart to get some more yarn to work on stuff. I actually used a lot of the stuff that I bought then and sold things the next day or two with the extra yarn that I bought. So yeah, that. I don't have a lot of things finished. I do have a few things that I am working on that hopefully I'll be finishing up in the next week or two. So I'm gonna jump right into finished objects first. As I said, not very many. First one you will have already seen in my Dark in the Park recap video, which should have gone up already by now. It is this sizable narwhal right here. This is actually made just using my medium narwhal pattern that I have a free video tutorial for, and the written pattern up on my blog, which I actually need to go and tweak a few things on. But I've actually changed the way that I do the fins. I do them more like feet now so that it sits a bit better. But I used bulky weight yarn. This is Loops and Threads Charisma. What is the colorway on this? This is just called Passion, is this colorway. And the horn is some Serenity chunky yarn, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see or not, but there are actually sequins on this horn. There we go. So that is one thing that is done. I actually finished this up pretty much right after I got back from the market. And this is going to go in the bin of all my other stuff. I think I still have to list this in my Etsy shop, actually. I took pictures, haven't listed it yet. Other finished thing is this critter right here. I decided to name this one Namu. And it's very similar to Unda, but my tension apparently with amigurumi has gotten better since I made it because the stitches on it are much tighter. It has kind of lobstery claws, and I just went with tentacles for the face, so it has kind of a Cthulhu feel to it. And it's done in the Red Heart Super Saver Polo Stripes colorway. This is from the, well, some parts of it are from the Edward's Menagerie crochet book by Carrie Lord. Not the whole thing, but some of it. Other finished thing is just a plain beanie style hat done in dark green. This is actually for the lady who special ordered it after she bought a black one that I had made and wanted one in the same style and size, just a different color. So I'm going to be taking this to her tomorrow and getting the other half of the money for it because Randy got smart and I get 50% down on custom commissions now before I bother doing them. The other thing that I have finished, I actually have one more of these that I need to do, at least potentially more. This is an itty bitty amigurumi Jawa. If it'll focus, there we go. And this is from the Even More Star Wars crochet kit. Now, I did not buy this kit. I actually was crocheting, go figure, because that's what I do, at the optometrist's office a few weeks ago, and a woman there saw that I was crocheting, asked to confirm if it was crochet or if it was knit, and she asked if I would be interested in making the things from this kit for her family because none of them crochet and didn't really want to learn. So I'm making the two toys that are actually from the kit with the included parts because the kit does not have everything, so making the Jawa and the BB-8 and probably also going to make them the Greedo because the father said that his son was really interested in that one. But there's a lot of different designs in here, and once I figure out how much I'm going to ask for this, I might actually get to keep the book so I can make more, which would be pretty cool. And that is all I've got for finished yarn stuff. So next I'm going to do yarn stuff in progress. So get all this stuff put away out of the way. There we go. Alright, yarn stuff in progress. I have two things that I've been working on, and they are both of substantial size, which is why they are not finished. I actually have three if you want to get technical, but one of them I haven't touched in a while. It's in a bag in timeout because I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not. Might actually just frog it and honestly offload the yarn because I didn't like working with it. We'll see. So this, let me find which side's the front side. This side. This is the start of a Hangetsu shawl, which is my own pattern. There's a free video tutorial and a paid written pattern. This yarn is the Cupcake yarn from Lion brand, and this is the Sunny Day colorway. I'm just now into the second pattern repeat, and it's gonna be all fiery flame colors, which I really like. That's kind of my thing, in case you haven't noticed by now. So I'm working on this. I'm doing it with the Cupcake yarn, which is a 3 or DK weight, and I'm using a J hook. I have another one that started in is started with the shawl and a ball yarn in Moonstone, and I don't know if maybe I should just be using a different hook size, but I really don't like how fiddly it is to work with. It looks really pretty, but for some reason stitching with it is excessively slow, and I don't like that about it at all. So there's the Hangetsu shawl and the one that's in the Naughty Box and Timeout. And the other thing that I have is kind of a, not scrappy because it's taking a lot of yarn, but I will say stash busting project, because I'm kind of trying to find things that are yarn eaters, since my tastes in crafting are starting to kind of divert into other things that aren't necessarily yarn related. I want to have a little more room for those things as well, so I'm kind of trying to use up some of the crazy quantities of yarn that I've accumulated over the past 5 years now. Yeah. Anyway, this started out as the just marl it blanket. It's supposed to be a throw-sized blanket. This is how long it will be. And it was done in extended single crochet, and I just don't feel that having two colors this way showcased the stitch that well. So the rest of it I'm just doing in half double crochet through the back loop only. And there's kind of a color progression here that will continue. I'm using, here I used Caron 1 pound with the off-white, and this is some Hirschner's just worsted 8 red, using the same red and this orange, neon orange, which I'm pretty sure I've never seen this colorway from Caron before, but this was in a 1 pound skein in a mill end bag, and it had no information on it, and I have a whole bunch of it and nothing to use it for, so I'm using it in this. So then it goes from the red and off-white into the red and orange, into the orange, and this is actually, you'll be able to see that the color shifts even just from here to here. This is Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. I want to say the gray is something like anthracite. I don't think I have the ball band on it anymore. Yeah, I don't. But it's whatever their gray ombre is. So I'm just going to keep using the gray ombre, and then it's going to switch from the orange over to yellow, and then it's going to pretty much reverse in the other direction with the color flow. And hopefully by then it will be big enough for a lap blanket. It's very thick, it's very heavy, it's 2 strands of worsted weight yarn, and I'm using a K-hook, a 6.5mm. So it is of substantial size. I mean, I'm not even halfway through it yet, and it's pretty big and heavy. So there is that. And that is the last in-progress yarny thing that I have right now. And this for now is living in my Foxy bag, which I got from Kendra over at Hooked by Happenstance. And speaking of Kendra, now that it's just about the end of the month, I feel like I can show this and nobody will be missing out or upset that the surprise was spoiled. But I am subscribed to her Summer Blues 2018 mystery bag club. You get a bag and some extra bits every month, and this is July's bag, which I think is super, super cute. Really, really like it. And the inside is this nifty kind of coral marbleized fabric, which is really neat. And on the zipper pull itself, I have one of the several stitch markers that she sent along with it, and they're on the leatherback earring findings, which is pretty cool. I did have some stuff in this, I just recently took it out. I am still trying to kind of completely finish unpacking from the market, even though it was 2 weeks ago, which is horrible, but life, kids. There have been a few days I haven't even been in the craft room in the past week. It's been insane. So this is part of acquisitions, and she actually has another mystery bag club that's going to be another 3-month one, I believe, and I think it's called Seeds of Change. If you're interested in that, you can go check out her shop. Sign-ups for that are there. I think there's still a few days left for it. I believe until the end of July, and then everything will start shipping out in September, maybe? Because I have one more bag from the Summer Blues one coming that should be heading out sometime in the next week or 2. Super cool. So now I'm going to show the and more, which is the non-yarny stuff that I have done in the past week, and some of it is bag sewing. I actually have a bunch more cut out that I need to get put together sometime in the next couple of days. So I have 3 drawstring bags that are completed. This one is a Marvel comic print on the outside, and the inside is all of these comic-y onomatopoeias. My drawstring bags, any of them that I make going forward, if you didn't see the Dark in the Park recap video where I talked about it briefly, are not going to have interfacing, but any tote bags and small pouches that I make will be interfaced. But it still has the squared bottom, quite a substantially wide one at that. There's this one, and then I have 2 different Batman bags. And they both have this, if I can not tangle it up in the drawstring, there we go. And they both have this comic, also onomatopoeias, but a different style, more with the comic panels print inside of them. And these are the large size ones. I am going to be working on making some that are more of a medium size, and then I'm going to be making little pouches, zippered pouches that I want to also have squared corners. That'll be, the pre-finished size will be 10 by 8, so they'll probably be 9 by 7. See how that turns out. So that'll be good for storing hooks, cosmetic bags, whatever. So those 3 things. Other than that, I actually have some polymer clay stuff that I have been working on, because if you're in the Facebook group, you would have seen the other day that I was like, I don't want to buy clay, I don't want to buy clay, but I keep watching all of these cute polymer clay tutorial videos and they're driving me insane. So I went into my Closet O Craft and found my box of all of my polymer clay and got out my acrylic paints and I made some stuff. The first one I actually have on the zipper from this pouch that I got from Kendra, and it's on a little lobster claw, and it is a little winking kawaii donut. The pink clay actually is a glitter clay, and some of this is painted and it has all been glazed, and it's on a lobster claw. So it's good for a zipper pull or a stitch marker or any other manner of thing that you wanted to add a charm to. You could even hook it onto a charm bracelet with it having that style of a clasp. Other things, I only have 2 styles, so I'm not going to show you every single piece, but I'll get a couple of each one out. So firstly, pizza, little pizza charms. Teeny tiny pizza charms. And the cheese clay is actually transparent, so it looks more like cheese, but on the side of it, I have a teeny tiny little face. Itty bitty little smiley face. These are also on the lobster clasps. There are 8 of these. Well, it's still focused on that distance. Little cute face. There are 8 of the pizza, and the other one that I made, I wasn't expecting there to be quite so many, but I am still pleased with how it turned out. Made a whole bunch of unicorn poop charms with a bunch of different colors. Well, they all have the same colors in them, but there we go. There are 2 different sparkle clays in here, and there's actually a stripe in them that glows in the dark, and they have the cute little kawaii faces too. Some of them are smiling, some of them look more like they're screaming. But there are 15 of these, and these will be going up in my shop sometime in the next weekish. So that is good. And everything else from this point is acquisitions. Like I said, this is all stuff that I've gotten in about the past month. And probably before this goes up, you will also be seeing my anti-augmentation August video, where I'm going to be talking about the fact that I'm not going to be buying any craft supplies for the whole month of August. Potentially all of September too, because I have so much stuff here that I need to either use what I have, and no, I don't mean use every single stitch, scrap, whatever of it, because that would take me forever. But I need to use up a substantial chunk and assess some of the purchasing choices that I've made in the past to see if it's something I even want to keep or if I'm going to get rid of more of it. Because I do still have 2 entire bins under my desk and 2 bags of stuff to go through for Flash My Stash to try and offload some stuff as well. Yay, fun! So everything here is going to be all sorts of crafting acquisition stuff. Not just yarn, but a big chunk of it is yarn. So, firstly, non-yarny bits. Thread. For my sewing machine, I got 2 spools of white. Take that back. 1 spool of white, 1 spool of off-white, and 2 of black. Because I got super excited because I used up my first whole spool of thread when I was making bags like 2 weeks ago. But I've since used up maybe 2 more spools of that thread, so it doesn't feel so special anymore, but that was a pretty big accomplishment to have sewn enough to have used up an entire spool. I was pretty stoked. Other thing that I got just yesterday, actually, got this set of shears from Joann's. All of their red tag clearance stuff was an extra 25% off, and the price on this was $17.97. And it ended up costing, I think, $13.48 was the final price on this. So now I've got a new set of shears and little thread snips for when I'm sewing stuff and the scissors are too thick to cut it really close. Super excited about those. I also got these 2 things of fabric. because firstly, look at this print. This print is so gorgeous. I'm so mad that I didn't buy more, but I was trying to restrain myself and have a little bit of self-control. But I mean, look at this. This is just so freaking awesome. Super excited. All their Halloween fabric was an extra 30% off. So I got that, and I got this Argyle Halloween-y print, which is super awesome to coordinate with a bunch of the other Halloween stuff that I got previously. And the other thing that I got yesterday is this monster right here. Bam. This is a big bolt of muslin fabric. And if you can see it, you might not be able to see it, but that price tag is really scary. $159.99. That is a lot of money. I did not pay that much money, even remotely close to that much money, for this. So, all of the big bolts of fabric at Joann's, which I'm not sure if it's still going on. I think it might be going until the end of July. I'm not 100% positive, but you might want to check. They have giant rolls like this of fleece and tulle and muslin in a separate portion of the store, quasi adjacent to the actual fabric, and all of them were 50% off the marked price. On top of that, I had a $15 off a $75 plus purchase coupon. So, pre-tax, $60 for this. Yeah. Super excited. So, for the record, this is a 50-yard bolt of muslin fabric. That's like $1.20 a yard. That's pretty awesome. But why muslin? Muslin is plain. Muslin is just an off-white fabric. And this is actually a 100% cotton muslin. Since I've gotten more into sewing, have become interested in trying out making art dolls in the creepy monster primitive style of the Junker Jane dolls. And if you've never seen any of them, I definitely recommend looking them up if you like creepy stuff, because they are wonderful and they're all different and they're so cool. So that's something I'm going to give a try. I also, having gotten this giant thing of muslin, am planning on making small zippered pouches that I'm going to machine embroider things on, because I have a whole bunch of machine embroidery patterns and thread that I have honestly never used. I think I've used my embroidery function on my machine maybe 2 or 3 times ever. So that's something that I'm going to be diving headfirst into in the weeks to come. And all the rest of this stuff got one more thing of stuff that's not yarn, and then I'll get into the yarn that I've acquired over the past month-ish. So when I went to Michael's recently, they were having a good sale on beads and such, so I figured I'd pick up a few things for making stitch markers and earrings and the like. These are just ceramic beads that are swirly and orange. I got these, which are kitty cat emoticon beads, which I thought were super, super cute. If it will focus. There we go. Which I thought were super, super cute. Also got these little metal owls, which are very light, so these would be perfect for stitch markers. Got these little hearts with sort of a Celtic symbol in the center of them. Got all these sparkly ocean and sea themed charms. And this I got for me because narwhals are apparently my big thing this year. It is just a narwhal charm, so I'm going to put this on something that I will use frequently. I might even end up putting it on my necklace. We'll see. Other than that, I got this giant thing of plastic beads with words on them. It's kind of like magnetic poetry, but with beads. could see these being used in a lot of different stuff. And the last thing that I got, because I have been sort of playing around with shrink plastic, I got just these plain pin backs so that I can attempt to make a few pins and see how that goes. So that is all of the non-yarny stuff. This is gonna be longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay, I guess. So all of this yarn is a combination from Michael's, Walmart, and a small Hirschner's haul that was too small to bother making a separate video for it. Oh, and I forgot, from when I went to Michael's, they actually have small quantities of fabric there, but they're just like fat quarter sized. So I got this orange, which is just kind of a marbly swirled orange. And I got these 2 fat quarters of cupcake fabric, which I thought was mega cute. And these were really cheap. They were less than $2 for a quarter. Pretty good. So yarny acquisitions. I got these 2. This is the Rainbow Bright colorway from Impeccable, which is a Loops and Threads Michael's exclusive yarn. I made a ton of my little narwhals and octopi in this colorway. I was hoping to find the big ball version of this because it's generally cheaper, but they didn't have any in stock, and the Impeccable was 2 for $5, so I got 2 of these to make more stuff for the next upcoming craft fair. And this is the Passion Charisma yarn, which is the same one that I used for the giant narwhal, and aside from this I have about half a ball of the other one left, so I should be able to make at least one more narwhal, maybe an octopus instead. One of the other big toys from this. These, is that it? Yeah. I actually got these at Walmart when I ran out for my yarn dash after a long day of selling stuff. I got Mainstays yarn for the first time ever because this is a really pretty green color. They call this evergreen, but I would call this more of sort of a teal aquamarine color. And I got this macaw, which is a variegated I've never worked with, but I think that it would work quite well for the little voodoo doll keychains and narwhals and octopi, because aquatic critters seem to be the big thing this year. There's those, and that's all I have left from Michael's and Walmart. Everything else is from a small order I did on Hirschner's, because on top of my 10% membership discount, they also had 16-cent shipping and an additional 16% off. Kinda hard to beat that. So I got 2 skeins of Red Heart Super Saver Dove, which is a really pretty variegated gray color. So I got 2 of those. Got 2 skeins of Platoon, which I really like to use for cats. Very good for amigurumi cats, especially if you're going for a calico look. That's it. Yeah, that's it for that one. And the other stuff that I have is all from Hirschner's, and I've got it packed in my cupcake bag. Barely fit, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to get on the floor and get all icky. So, firstly, wanted to try this because the colorways looked really neat. This is Premier Luna yarn. It is an anti-pilling 100% acrylic yarn. This is 273 yards, 3.5 ounces, and this is, it's a DK weight or a 3, and this colorway is called Phobos. And this is what it'll look like if you were to knit it. It is a striping yarn. I got 2 of those. And everything else in here, I believe, yeah, this is, I got a Red Heart with Love in evergreen. See, this is what I would call evergreen. This is not evergreen. This is like a minty toothpaste green. This is evergreen. Just saying. Mainstays. Get your colors right. Red Heart with Love, evergreen. And this is a 7-ounce skein, 100% acrylic. Everything else is bulky weight. I actually do have another one over there, but I'm not going to bother digging it out. So this is called Dark Orchid. This is purple amigurumi plans. Also got red. This is specifically cherry red, and this is Red Heart Super Saver Chunky, so it's thicker than your average worsted weight because it's a 5 instead of a 4. And the last one is Gray Heather. So that is everything for me for this episode of Yarn Talk and More. And I am planning to do vlogust this year to the best of my ability. You will have to forgive me if it is not a video every single day. I am going to try my darndest, but I anticipate probably 5 videos a week. More would be nice, but I'm not going to try to 100% hold myself to doing a video every single day because I don't always get to my computer every day. So thank you so much everybody for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye!